Okay. With any luck, fingers crossed, the stream is now working. Okay. If you're watching the VOD, I had some terrible internet issues this morning, about almost 2 hours ago now. um, I guess an hour and a half. But I think we're at a point where we are not dropping frames, we're not freezing. Everything looks stable to me on my end. Obviously, I do not know until someone confirms in the chat, okay, that the stream is working properly. So I'm going to run through a couple of things I said before about this Nic Fit list. I'm going to say Happy Easter. I'm going to say Happy Birthday to Della L, because I said that at the beginning of the stream. And yeah, we're playing some Nic Fit. I've played 2 leagues with this. Well, not this list. I've played 2 leagues with Nic Fit since I started trying to sort of build it, reimagine it yesterday. I went 1-4 in the first league, and I've just gone 4-1 in the second league. So that's cool. 4-1 is a Nic Fit trophy. Why am I playing Nic Fit? Well, it's fun. It's a meme. I love the card Malevolent Rumble. I think it's a really powerful card. I don't think there's any Legacy deck that quite maximizes this card. It's good in lands, but lands doesn't make super great use of the 0-1 Eldrazi spawn that you get from it. Whereas Nic Fit does, because you can sack it to stuff and all the rest of it. I also think that Deed is well positioned because there's a bunch of like Goblin Welder Saga decks and energy decks running around, and Deed is just really great at dealing with that kind of thing. And Nic Fit's fun to work on because there is no Nic Fit lists, right? There are Koika's lists, and I love Koika's lists, and I look carefully at Koika's lists, and I did when I was building this. But they're, I think it would be fair to say, pretty far from optimized. So we're trying to do a little bit of that development. And I'm just nervous about whether the stream is actually working. I think it's working. It looks okay on my end. Certainly better than it did before. But I'll wait for confirmation from the chat. So I want to try and make it consistent. I want to try and give it plans against all kinds of decks, which is kind of what the Ghost Quarter Ice Till stuff is about. Help you waste out those like Forge decks and stuff like that. Hi Schmeckles, not Mr. Poppy. Am I laggy? Am I freezing? What's going on? Or are we cool, calm, and collected this morning? You let me know. So I want to make it more consistent. So Rumble's a big part of that, but also I've added this card, Esper Origins. It's not a super powerful card. It's not a card I've seen in lots of other decks, but it seems to be working well here in terms of surveilling you to the cards that you need at the right times, giving you more value out of the graveyard, giving you a little bit of card draw, a little bit of ramp, and even a win condition sometimes in the 3rd chapter. So, yeah, without further ado, I think we can jump into the league, and we can see if we can improve on a 4-1, possibly. We're going to have to hit lots of blind therapies, I think, if we want to get the trophy today. But we'll have a go. It is Esper Nic Fit. It's Nic Fit with 4 Esper Origins. That's Esper Nic Fit. Isn't it normal to name a deck after like a key card? I thought that was normal. It doesn't seem confusing to me. I mean, what else would Esper Nic Fit mean? Okay. Give me a Nic Fit hand. Okay, so this hand has a therapy. Blind Therapy turn 1, classic. It has a Rumble to find 3rd land, and it has 2 Deeds. I wouldn't describe this as the ideal hand, but I think you can keep it. It's a little tricky to figure out whether we should be therapying on turn 1. If we therapy on turn 1, that means we can flashback therapy on turn 2 with Rumble. But we're also very unlikely to hit the first time, obviously, because we don't know what we're playing against. It might be better just to pass and fetch Surveil. And save the therapy. I think I'm happy to do that. I don't think there's not a huge chance that failing to therapy turn 1 will cost me, unless perhaps they play turn 1 Tamio, which I guess is what I would name if I were going to go for turn 1 therapy, but I think I'm happy just to hold the therapy and wait for a little bit more information. I mean, this now gives me a lot more information, right? I now know I'm playing against Echo Storm. Turning it off and on again never fails. Yeah, I'm embarrassed it took me that long to figure it out, but to be fair, I haven't had to do that in this house before, and I wasn't actually sure where the router was, so I had to talk to my wife. It's the home that my wife grew up in. This will give us a Explorer if we want it. But we'd be missing land drops. I think that's fine. I think I want this. So what are we naming with therapy here? My instinct is Lion's Eye Diamond. It could also be correct to name Dark Ritual. It could also be... I don't think it's correct to name any payoffs because there's already a payoff. So I think we should name some kind of mana. So it's between Lion's Eye Diamond and Dark Ritual for me. If they had Lion's Eye Diamond, would they have just played Lion's Eye Diamond and echoed last turn? Not into a Force of Will, right? Not into Unknown. Lion's Eye Diamond is more mana than Dark Ritual. Be nice if I could flashback therapy this turn, but I can't. Let's see what you do if I put this on the stack. You might have just played out LED and passed. Man, whenever I have a gut feeling and then I reason myself into another card, they always end up having the first card I thought they had. My gut feeling was LED, and now I'm reasoning myself into Dark Rit, because if they had LED, they might have played it and passed. I'm going to try and go with my gut, because your intuition sometimes processes things that you don't process consciously. I'm going to name Lion's Eye Diamond. They did have Dark Ritual. They had Dark Ritual. I should have named Dark Ritual. If I had an Arbor in the list, I'd be able to flashback therapy now. But that's fine. We don't necessarily expect to win game 1 against Storm. So they had Dark Ritual. I knew they were going to have the one I didn't name. I mean, all that happens if I get the Dark Ritual is they gamble for LED, probably hit, and then... Well, it does reduce the mana they have floating when they wheel, so it's a significant difference. Okay, well, at least they felt that they needed to do that. That restricts their options a little bit. We can F6 now, I guess. Surely there was an opportunity to gamble for LED at some point there. I guess maybe you have to do that instead of silencing. Because now they're only wheeling with 1 mana floating, which is better than no mana floating, but it's still not that much. The wheels aren't very good at winning the game unless you have a significant amount of mana floating, in my experience. Otherwise, they tend to just kind of wheel and pass, which is like very beatable. On our turn, if we do get a turn, we're probably going to rumble to try and hit therapy. Because therapy is really our only play in this matchup pre-board. Therapy and Ghost Quarter, I guess. Usually when they're thinking, it either means they're stuck or they have lethal. And they're just working out the lethal. It looks like it might be the lethal this time. I don't mind losing game 1 here. We have lots of good sideboard cards. Okay, they're passing. They're passing. So we have trophies here. We could... Do they run a basic? I don't think they do, right? In this mana base, I think trophy is just Vindicate. So I could Vindicate a mana source. Why don't we cheat a little bit and see if they have any posted results and whether they have any basics in them. Epic Storm, March 23rd. Yeah, no basics. I didn't think so. So I think we should be trophying here rather than trying to hit off Rumble. Hit the therapy. Let's just do that. Yep. Actually didn't search. It's interesting. And we'll just Vetex and say go. If they didn't go off with 7 cards in their hand, they probably don't have that much fast mana. So maybe the trophies will slow them down enough here. We'll see. Trophy has been really good in the league so far. It's really nice having a catch-all. And even against the decks with basics, it's not that big a downside. If you're if you're using the trophies judiciously. Getting flooded on trophies against the deck with lots of basics would probably be pretty bad, but that hasn't happened to me yet. Well, they're taking a very deliberate upkeep here. We've cut them off blue. If we untap, we can maybe cut them off black. Okay. They have white mana. Burning Wish. Okay. Revealing Thoughtseize. Okay, so you can Thoughtseize my trophy. Burning Wish for Thoughtseize is pretty weak, though, isn't it? So, feeling cautiously optimistic about this game. Cautiously. Take the other trophy. That makes sense to me. They didn't play a land, so they have 2 non-land cards in hand. I think now we're rumbling. Now we're rumbling. We hit Quarry, which is pretty good here, actually. So if we Quarry, we have 2 4 mana. Oh, 5, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2... No, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana. I got excited there. I thought we had 6. And then we can Deathclaw them, but we can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I wonder if I Esper... Try and hit Therapy again. I guess I do, huh? So yeah, let's not bother with Grist. Let's just... Vetex. Oh, I should hit for 1. Never mind. Sure, it won't matter. It's so much fun doing all this again. When you play against the decks with no basics, it's like everything in your deck is just like juiced, you know. Like I don't have to worry about cracking the Explorer. The trophies are just obscene. It's so much fun. Okay. So let's Esper. So I think I'm... How much mana am I going to have next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up to 7 if I want it. Up to 8 if I want it. So if I don't Grist, I'll have 8 mana. Which means I can Deathclaw plus Trophy. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put both on top. And we're going to pass. And we have next, if we survive this turn, next turn we have Deathclaw you, Trophy you, and then the turn after we have Deathclaw you again. Which is probably overkill because I can just monstrous this Deathclaw, but whatever. So I should probably have actually surveilled the second Deathclaw. But maybe they Thoughtseize. Oh yeah, because now, yeah, okay. So now you can Thoughtseize my Deathclaw. Oh, or you drew an LED and now you can Echo, which would be a problem. Boomerang basics. You don't have any blue mana, huh? I don't actually have any blue mana. Alpha Deathclaw, good versus Tess. Alpha Deathclaw is good against everything, I'll have you know. That's the point. Look at me. I am the alpha now. What do you have? I'm Alfarius. Is that an I'm Spartacus reference, or is that some kind of Warhammer 40k thing that I'm not aware of? Is there somebody called Alfarius? Last Step Quarry is at its best in Nic Fit, I think. And I don't say that lightly. But there's nothing better than having oodles of mana and quarrying your Deathclaw. Yeah. Yeah. We won game 1 against Storm. Run basics, noob. It's not that hard. Okay, so we want all of this stuff. We may not even want Flute, because it's kind of slow. And I don't actually think we want Endurance. Will we want to Endurance one of our guys? I don't think so. It is both a 40k and a Spartacus reference. Nice. So we don't need Grist. I still, because of the Ghost Quarter. Trophy seems fine as a Vindicate. Deed is okay against Chrome Mox and Saga. We're probably cutting Origins. So I could leave in one Grist and one Deathclaw, or I could just side out all of the Grists. I don't think we need Grist. Like, I guess Grist kills Hexing Squelcher. It doesn't do anything, it's our deck. They're not going to have Hexing Squelcher. Yeah, I think I'd rather have Deathclaws, both Deathclaws, than Grist. cutting origins. Plenty of green cards. Maybe we do want flute then. We would cut. What would we cut for flute? Like these two. We'd be cutting deeds for flute, I think. I mean, endurance is good against Sky as well. I'm actually not 100% sure what the sideboard is here, you know? Because you don't want to dilute your plan too much. I guess we could just play 4 flutes and 4 endurances, and we could cut all the bowmasters and yeah, because bowmaster doesn't actually stop them. So let's cut bowmaster. Should we cut rumble? That seems insane. I don't know. I think I want endurance, but I don't know what to cut. I think I do want endurance. I mean, it's only good against the Guy's Will lines, to be fair, so maybe it's the narrowest card. We have a trap, so I'll keep this. Hello, XJ. Thank you. I thought so too. I'm wary of overboarding, but it doesn't seem like you can really overboard against the storm deck. Like, it's literally a storm deck. Okay, that's a 1. So we wait a little while, we bluff the Force of Vigor, bluff the Force of Vigor, bluff the Force of Vigor, then we let it resolve. Everybody count with me. 1, 2 spells, 3 spells, we let that one resolve. 4, no. Okay. Round 1 in the books. Round 1 in the books. What could I possibly do? Thought seize them? Therapy them? I guess? Or like if you're on Flare, like most Nic Fit lists are on Flare of what's it called? Alien playing Echo and Graveyard. Oh well, then if they pass, I can endurance them. You can't put the Echo in the graveyard, I don't think, and pass because of endurance. Or even like any like fairy, surgical, anything. I don't really think you can pass. But yeah, passing against what's it called? Flare of Cultivation. Most lists are on Flare of Cultivation, which means that you can get 2 untapped mana on turn 1, and then once you've got 2 untapped mana on turn 1, then there are oofs and there are Ergatic Teagues and there are flutes and things. So if you're on Flare, you can get 2 untapped mana on turn 1 because you go Explorer, Flare, and then the Explorer lands. This looks good. I don't run Flare because I think it's literally only good when you have Explorer, and it's a very bad top deck. I tried Flare in the first list. That was the list I went 1-4 with. We might be a little light on lands here, actually. In fact, this is a mistake, and we should have surveilled instead. I just kept the hand because it had Veteran Explorer in it, but that's not always correct. We do need a second land, so if we miss here, I guess we just lose. Yeah, I mean, I have a trophy. I will need to draw a black source. It's possible that you're supposed to fetch Bayou so that Therapy is also a live draw, but getting wastelanded would suck, so. Yep. Good turn to draw Flare. Lol. Lol. It's fine, we'll draw a land. We'll draw a land. We'll be fine. We didn't draw a land. I mean, with 2 explorers... Yeah, no. No, I actually think the hand was still a keep on the draw. I just should have... I should have surveilled turn 1 instead of playing Veteran Explorer. Because we didn't draw a land on turn 1. I wasn't really thinking. I just wasn't really thinking, chat. You want a minus? You don't want a minus even a little bit? The other thing about this deck is you can actually mull pretty low, because you only need... Your volume of cards is not so important as having the right cards. You only need Vetex, land, like 2 land Vetex, sack outlet, and something. Like a Ice Till or Zenith or Grist or something. And you can get going with that. So you can mull down to like 5 pretty comfortably, I think. So maybe I should have mulled, but I certainly should have surveilled. I'm not really as happy to lose game 1 against Tempo, because you need to give them 3 good games to come out on top, I think. Land? Okay. So the question is, are we going to go straight for the trophy? I don't think we need to or want to. I think that we want to rumble first. And then we can trophy around days, maybe. There's a good chance they counter this. And if I hit Therapy off this, it's good times. Did not hit Therapy off this. I hit Ghost Quarter. It gives us a little bit of mana to work with, though. So they will probably now Bowmaster my spawn. One of the questions here is whether I should just Endurance them now to stop them from playing a Murktide. And to be honest, I think the answer to that question is no. I believe I will want these cards. And I believe they expect to win with this Tamiyo, so they're not necessarily incentivized to look for a Murktide here, as they might be in other situations. They're really looking for protection for Tamiyo. Stuff like Thoughtseize and Force of Will. What is this? We are out of time on the Tamiyo, though. So that's annoying. It's very unlikely this trophy resolves. I wonder what the best way to do it is. It must be just to play trophy. There's no way around it, really. Just because everything else plays into days. If I ice tilt into trophy, or if I try and zenith for grist. Both of those things. So yeah, we were just a turn behind here, really. If we'd hit the land the turn we needed to, we would have been able to have multiple goes at killing this Tamio, and they would have needed multiple forces. Now they only need one, which is like, we're just definitely going to get forced. I will at least pass to let them... I guess, actually, there was another line here which was to deed first, which also plays around days. Yeah, so I'm going to respond to this. There was a line there, I think, to deed around days. Deed for 1, get 4 lands into play, and then you're in the same position, but you do have extra lands in play. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so should have surveilled. A little bit of a loose game. That's fine. Against tempo. I like Veteran Explorer. I think the card I like least is actually Deed. It cleans up clues, and it cleans up... It does kill, like, goifs. But it's just so easy for them to... Do they not pitch Oracle? Maybe. I didn't look. Are they Doomsday? That's fine. Honestly, I don't think I would sideboard differently. The Doomsday deck plays a fairly good tempo game against this deck, and we're just really not that afraid of Doomsday because we have Endurance. And Trophy is also quite good against Doomsday because you can just blow up their lands after they Doomsday. Like, I don't really think we need or want flutes. Maybe flutes are better than Esper Origins, but I think you definitely still want Grist, Ice Till, Trophy, Bowmasters, everything. Flute could be better than Esper Origins. Yeah, okay. If they're on Doomsday, then I'll... Card advantage slightly less important. Yeah, okay. So card advantage slightly less important, interaction slightly more important. So flute over Esper seems fine. Thanks for the catch, Life. I actually didn't see that. This hand is totally fine, I think. I guess it's a little weak to like turn 1 Dark Ritual Doomsday, but they don't really do that, these tempo lists. Well, it's actually still fine, because you just Bowmaster them and it's hard for them to draw through their library. Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't think I need to trophy that. Because I can trophy it when it flips. I could Bowmaster. I think I would rather just ramp. Like, ramping into Ice Till is really powerful. I think I want a forest. GQ's kind of interesting if they Doomsday me. GQ. Alright, I'll take the GQ. We'll take the Gentleman's Quarterly. Like, with Trophy in hand, we're not really going to have... Peatland in hand, we're not really going to have a problem with coloured sources, I don't think. Yeah, you can get your guy. passing. Therapy. Okay, so I don't think I need to go straight for the Ice Tail here. I think that we can therapy first. So what do you have? What do you have? Let's just name Force of Will. Can't go wrong. You did have days, okay. You hadn't. You basically have nothing though. I was saying I don't really care about days because you just play around it. But they, what? Would you really just not Thoughtseize me there? Like you literally don't even want to bother Thoughtseizing me. That's wild to me. You have a lot of lands. But they're fetches. Okay. I don't need to flashback therapy right now. I think I'm going to trophy. I just don't want them drawing a gajillion cards off Tamiyo over the course of the game. Broadly speaking, my Edge of Autumn. But you've only drawn one card. No, you've drawn 0 cards this turn. Weird. I guess they were looking for a force. Seems like a high cost, though, just to sacrifice a land. I think my macro plan here is to GQ them out, actually, with Ice Till. Because I imagine they run 2 basics. They have a bunch of fetches in hand. Okay, so you can get rid of my Ice Till, that's fine. Still got two Bowmaster. Plays a Tamiyo. Sewers. So you have 1 unknown. Still got 3 fetches in hand. Okay. Let's therapy you. Doomsday. I'm just gonna name days with this one. I guess we can't double Bowman now. So maybe I'm supposed to flashback. I was valuing the spawn, but maybe it's better to double Bowman this turn. So maybe I should flashback first. You have an LED in hand. Well, that seems uniquely useless, doesn't it? Just wondering whether I want to discard the LED. It doesn't seem like I would need to discard it this turn. I am going to play this now, just in case they draw Brainstorm. And I'm going to say go. Like, the only way the LED is dangerous is if they have Doomsday Brainstorm, right? So I think we can wait And then when they have some unknown cards in hand, we can therapy, name LED, and then therapy again with whatever else they have, that kind of thing. Not feeling great about this game just because they do have a Tamiyo that I don't really have a good way of dealing with right now. But we have lots of good draws. Misty. Draws a card. Yeah, this is kind of why I wanted to be able to cast 2 Bowmasters, because I'd actually be able to stop them from doing that, or threaten to kill Tamiyo if they did that. Nothing, huh? Alright. So LED plus 2 unknowns. Another therapy. I do think I want to keep this spawn just in case they draw Zenith. I want to be able to Zenith for Ice Till. So, yeah, here we go. I'll name Lion's Eye Diamond. And you have Force of Will and Doomsday. It's pretty good, I guess. If you're wondering which one I care about more. Yeah, let's do that. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass upkeep Bowman Tamiyo. And then if you draw off the clue this turn, I'll kill the Tamiyo. It means you have to use the clue on my turn, which in turn means that whatever you draw is more vulnerable to my therapies, that kind of thing. That's my logic anyway. You're just not going to attack. What? Okay, I guess you want to block. I don't really want to run into your Bowmaster, so let's just do this now. Very happy for you to hardcast Force of Will on this. Rumble into very little, sadly. Let's just grab a Surveil Land. Play it. Is there anything I'm afraid of enough that I should therapy it here? Like, what happens if you Doomsday? You Doomsday, you go to 5. You can't really if you brainstorm, you die. Yeah. I think... Like, if you brainstorm after Doomsdaying, I mean. So I don't think we need to... Yeah, they would have just cast it, right? What else could I possibly be afraid of here? One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Yeah, so again, I just want to keep my spawns in play because I want to Zenith into Alpha Death Claw, so... Force of all days or land. Yeah, they could have another force. That's a good idea. Maybe dark red. Okay. Also whale. Yeah, I like that. And then do I cycle peatland? Cycling peatland puts me to 6 mana. Seems fine. It's pretty bad into your Bowmaster though, isn't it? Would be kind of a disaster into your Bowmaster, so let's just hold off on that for now. How many of these do I have left? Only one? I only have one therapy left? Just wondering if I can attack with these Bowmasters, or if I'm being that paranoid about Bowmaster that I don't want to do that. I think here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sack this, and I'm going to name Force of Will. You have another Tamio. Okay. And that, with that information, I can attack again. I guess, actually... Does the deck even play Bowmaster? It's Tempo Doomsday, right? I should have done this on my turn. Not a peatland, yeah, I could have played it. A lot of the Tempo Doomsday lists play Bowmaster. If they have LED, I guess they don't. If they have LED, I guess they don't have Bowmaster, because they're not Tempo. But you never know. These Doomsday players, you never know. You never know what they're going to do. They're crazy. They're crazy. Okay. I think I don't need to hold this for post Doomsday. And I don't think I'm picking any targets. Well, maybe I should. I think I probably should, actually, because I'd probably quite like to draw a fetch land. Oh, you drew a force after I fucking therapied force? Thoughtseize bug. Okay, so this will allow me to... Zenith for... I think I want a Zenith for Grist here. Well, then you just play another Tamio, actually. If I Grist your Tamio. So instead, let's Zenith for Ice Till. How many turns of GQing does it take to get them off black? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the... Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of GQing to get them off black, so I'm not going to do that. Let's grab Ice Till. Play this peatland. Yeah. Just going to shoot them at this point. Okay. I guess you... Alright, you don't draw a card off that. Fine, because I didn't play a spell. You're going to ponder... So this is going to flip Tamiyo, which is going to be fine. We're just going to shoot the ice till to get a guy. Yeah, Veil of Summer. Yeah, that's good to know. Makes sense, I guess. So you can plus Tamiyo, play Tamiyo. Dalsy. Well, Vertex, okay. Still Tamiyo in hand, yeah. Let me do a trophy, that's nice. Who am I going to trophy here? Am I going to trophy your Dalsy? Or am I going to trophy? Yeah, I'm going to trophy your Dalsy. Declines to use it. Oh, because you like what you have on top with Ponder. Well, buddy, if you're going to decline to use it, then I've got a Ghost Quarter with your name on it. Oh, now you'll use it. Okay, now... But you don't have any more basics. Why don't you play a basic swamp? Where's your basic swamp? Okay. Well, if you don't have a basic swamp, then I can take you off triple black. I think that's better than drawing cards to Peatland. Because you just don't have triple black anymore. I think I'll play this. And then, who am I hitting? You or the Tamiyo? Tamiyo can minus on... You can minus on Doomsday, Veil, Ponder. I'll attack Tamiyo. If this status quo goes on, I just get to keep Ghost Quartering you again next turn, so I don't actually need to hurt you. There's the Tamiyo. There's a plus. There's a Grist. Grist is nice. Grist is super nice. Let's... Grist. Let's minus. And let's kill this one. Yes. I only have one basic left. That's okay. 28 cards in library. LGQ. Get rid of this. GQ again. Get rid of this. Attack Tamio. This maybe is a slightly laboured way of winning this game, especially when I'm running low on clock, but I think it's fine. There's a therapy. Realistically, not too worried about getting therapied. I guess I just want to name Force again. Does it matter? It doesn't really matter, does it? Whatever. Let's see what's going on over there. You did have a Force. That's fine. So yeah, I just need to play quick in game 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do 5. Okay. So we're a little bit worried about decking, I guess. Doesn't really. We're going to win next turn. Oh look, I can Alpha Death Claw now? Yeah, okay. So let's just attack you. Yield to all. Yeah, I wish I wasn't quite so low on time for game 3, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Get the alpha going. Oh, I don't have enough mana. I thought I had enough mana. Screw it. I'll get Bowmaster then. I had lethal because this it buffs the orc, so I just missed lethal. I had lethal with the orc buff. All right, 7 minutes for game 3. That's fine. They're more turbo than I thought. I don't think Oof is worth it. I don't think we need Trap. I think Endurance is our equivalent of Trap. I think maybe the Flutes are still in over the Espers, though. Esper would have been pretty good in that game because we were flashing back a lot, but I think that was an unusual game. Or rather, it's the kind of game that I'm pretty likely to win anyway. It doesn't look like they'll be pressuring my life total, which is one of the reasons I like Espers. It just gains you a bunch of life. I mean, we'll see, I guess. If they go Dark Ritual Baragoyf, it's kind of annoying, but we have ways of dealing with that. We have the means. We have the memes and we have the means. opponent is taking their time with their sideboarding. I mean, this looks good to me. We've got endurance, we've got a flute, we've got therapy and a bowmasters. Are they going to go for it? No, okay, they're not going to go for it. I think I'm just naming Doomsday. Maybe Force. Maybe Brainstorm. How worried am I about Doomsday? Not very, right? Because like, I've got a bunch of interaction for Doomsday. I'm going to name Brainstorm. Damn it, they had Force and Doomsday. Okay. I was thinking the only thing I'm really worried about is, like... So you're gonna... Doomsday now, okay. Okay, we may have just punted, because... I think if we had hit Force or Doomsday, we'd be in a really good spot. Hitting neither of them is tricky. Especially since I actually don't have another green card to go with this Endurance. Hi Jared, how's it going? So that may have that therapy name may have been a punt, because I was thinking Doomsday, I was thinking Force, and I thought I just read into their hesitation a little bit too much, because that hesitation was them thinking about dazing it, but I read their hesitation as thinking about brainstorming. When you probably would just brainstorm, I don't know. And Brainstorm would only really be a disaster if they also had Doomsday, so I think I should have just named Doomsday. I think this game's very good for us if we name Doomsday. Now it's a little sketchy. It depends a little bit on how they pile. Like, it depends how good Flute on Oracle is going to be. So it kind of depends whether they run Jace, actually, I think. Waggadal. I want to see whether they run Jace. Doomsday. They have a Jace in the sideboard, so they do have Jace. Would you bring in Jace? You saw Flute last game, so you probably would bring in Jace. I don't know. Doomsday experts can weigh in chat. At the very least, this should help with me with my clock, because it guarantees a short game. Maybe that's the tiebreaker for naming Force instead of Doomsday, is that if I name Doomsday, the game goes on longer. If I name Force, then the game's shorter. Okay, so there's one Oracle here. There's one Force in the pile. Days. How many days is? There's an LED in the pile. I guess, is there a Brainstorm in the pile and is there a Basic in the pile? We only saw Island. So there's no Basic in the pile. Brainstorm, 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 Brainstorm. There's no Brainstorm in the pile. Okay, so that gives us a little bit of time, maybe. Can flute them when they crack LED. Yeah, but I don't know whether to flute Oracle or Jace. That's the issue here. So I have to hold Trophy because it's my endurance. Decay. What if I just name LED with the flute? They can't decay me, I don't think. They can daze. They can daze. They can daze. I'm going to cast this to get it dazed, because I think these pieces are more important. Okay, so they're actually not going to do that. That's fine. Now the question is days or force. Right. Well, that answers that one then. There's the LED. Yeah, I think it basically all hinges on whether they have Jace in the deck or not. If they don't have Jace, I'm not sure how they win. You think they have Jace? So you think their pile has one Jace, one Oracle in it? You're gonna crack. So I'm gonna have to endurance here. It looks like we're gonna win. Because we have the endurance. Let me just take a quick picture of this in case it matters. So they didn't have Jace. All right. All right, let's go again. Just gonna pop to the washroom quickly. Okay. Let's go into round 3. We're doing okay. We're 2-0. We've been playing against decks with 1 or 0 basics, which is nice. I think this hand is a keep. It doesn't have any black mana, but the Vetex should be able to help us with that. It's got some other stuff going on. The Esper Origins will save us, I'm sure. We can like turn 1 Vetex, turn 2 Esper, try and hit therapy. Another Tameo. So there's a therapy. One of the issues with going Vetex here is that they can just swords it, which is a bit of a problem. This is a problem with not having black mana. But I think that's fine. These kind of blue-whitey matchups aren't necessarily the ones where you wanna like Vetex super early anyway, because they tend to use their mana very well. So let's see how this goes. Someone tell me on the players. It might be hard to beat here, but we'll see. Okay, so we do have a therapy. I think that we will use it. You gonna stifle me? I think I like naming Felia here. I mean, it depends whether they're on beans or not, right? I think I'm naming Felia. You did have a stifle, and you just chose not to use it because you have force. Interesting. Oh, because you're going to force the... Wait, why aren't you using any of these? Right, you're going to stifle the Vetex trigger. Which, to be honest, is totally fine. You're not going to stifle the Vetex trigger. Why aren't you using any of your spells? We could just name the stifle, I guess. Could just name the stifle. You'll have hard cast force up. Yeah, I'm naming the stifle because the stifle stops me from killing your Tameo with Grist. Which is what I want to do. Oh, they're on a trophy match? I didn't even see that. What's confusing, Schmeckles? Their play? I'm confused by their play. Oh, we hit Ice Chill. We got the double insect. Yeah, baby. That's actually sick because it insulates us from swords in response to Grist next turn. I guess they're just confident about like having like they want to have a bunch of lands in play, I guess. They're just confident about like drawing a Riddler and doing stuff and I think maybe they were like, oh, well, they can just swords anything they play, and they've probably been a little bit blindsided by the Grist. I don't know. We shall see. If they're 4-0, then they're not bad at playing this deck, right? So you're going to flip. I'm going to be able to Grist that, unless you have another Stifle, or unless you have 2 swords, which would be a pretty bad trade for you. Let's just try it. Okay. So far, so good. If I Zenith for Icill, you will Swords it. I think I'm a little bit afraid of like Felia here. I think I will Deed, hold up Trophy, hold up Deed. Alright, so you're going to force that. Exiling force. You have one unknown. No, you have 2 to 3 unknowns because you played a Strand. We don't need anything other than the Grist to win this game. Let's just Esper. If you were going to play Felia, you would have played out your Caracas. Plus first. Right, okay. You did have it, Felia. You lied to me. I thought for sure you would play your Caracas if you were going to play Felia. And now you have a Riddler? Disaster. Oh, you have a Teferi. That's not quite as bad. The whole Felia thing was why I held up Trophy the turn before. You're gonna attack this thing. Okay, that's fine. So I can't cast anything instant speed. You have a Caracas of Swords and the land that you bounce from Days. You have a 1 unknown. You kept on top. I drew Rumble. So that's interesting. Let's start with that. I think I like Bowmasters. Now I wish I had tapped differently, but that's okay. Kill this thing, because then I could hold up Trophy. And I'm just going to minus the Grist. Just kill the Felia. And say go. Next turn I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I can Zenith for... I can Zenith for... Perfect, okay, so I can Zenith for Deathclaw. They didn't brainstorm at any point, Curtis, so... So now I can play around Days. Do I have a land? I have a Bayou. So there's a question of whether I want to hit the Tamio to make you bounce it. This gives me another turn where you don't have a clue. Or whether I want to hit the Caracas. I think I want to hit the Tamio because I just don't want you to draw a swords, basically. Like, I want to be able to get the monstrous off on this without you drawing a swords. Is Esper Origins actually good? I don't know, maybe. We're trying to find out. I like it. It's been working very smoothly so far. I'm gonna waste my Ghost Quarter. Oh yeah, I actually think, yeah, I did this wrong. I could have cracked Spawn for the Zenith, and I could have. That would have been much cleaner actually. I should have Ghost Quartered the Caracas, crack Spawn for Zenith, and then Deathclawed the Tamio. That would have played into Days though, which could have been a disaster. So I don't know. This feels like they're working with very limited resources anyway, so probably fine. I don't need to monstrous now, so I'm not going to. Deed. How good is Deed? I think it's better than these other cards. I'm going to go to 10. What do you have? Nothing. Yeah, I don't know if this is correct, but it's what I'm going to do. You have any more basics? You do, okay. Kill your Tamio. So what do we think? We're playing around the swords? I'm not playing around the swords. Rah! Well, it's after blocks, matey. It's a bit late now. Boom! Okay, so you are a blue-white Felia deck. We saw Stifle. We did not see any Stone Blade, any Stone Forges, etc. I think I like Deed. I think I like this, actually. I don't think I need any of these cards. Like, I don't think Endurance is that hot. It blocks Tamio. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. I don't think Oof does anything. I don't really think Flute does much. I think I'll just run it back. I think we're just running it back, chat. This hand just has a couple of Bowmasters. It's pretty slow, but I think it's fine. Speed's not necessarily the name of the game against this blue-white deck. Yeah. We did see Wasteland, so probably don't want a Mortuary here. We're just going to play Catacomb. Oh, ton of water yields. I'm going to fetch now because of Stifle. Yeah, so you get your clue. Brainstorm now, flip Tameo. Sure. Alright, well that puts us on the clock. We have a Zenith. So one thing we can do, we can either Zenith for Explorer, which I don't like here. We can Rumble and then next turn Zenith for Grist, but we won't have anything to Grist at that point. I think this Zenith is going to be getting Grist for Tameo at some point, and I think we're going to be using... We're going to be using the Bowmasters to try and sort of do a delaying action for that. So I think I'll just grab another one. Tameo plus. What is this, a Teferi? Oh, you're just going to crack a clue now. Alright. The Wasteland is a little annoying. It's going to make it harder for me to get to Grist. I think that's fine. Next turn. Yeah, I don't think this is who we want right now. I'd like to draw a trophy. That would help me out a lot here. Yep. Yep. Yes. So, do we think double Bowmaster is going to be enough to win? They need to have a second force and a Dave. I think I'm willing to... I think I'm willing to give it a go. I guess they only need removal, actually. We don't have a lot of other great options. We could try and play around it by like Bowmastering now, when they have less cards, get them down to 6 with the thing. But then next turn we're just in a bind as well. I think I'm willing to gamble. I think they're not particularly incentivized to play around the second Bowmaster. Right, you're going to Fairy. So you forced pitching Consign. I have to do this. And hit this. And then you can just Teferi my Bowmasters and Tamio. Very nice. Okay. I don't know if there was a better line there. What kind of Mangork? What kind of rewards do you want, Mangork? Okay, so we were just slightly too slow to deal with all of that. And they had double force, to be fair, to protect the Tamio. I think we should go to game 3. That's the next poll? Ah, I see. None of this would have helped with that, except maybe Flute, which would have just got bounced by Teferi. I mean, maybe Flute's better than Origins. I don't think it is. Flute's pretty bad against Felia decks. They can just blink it out. Okay. We're going to name Tamio here, since it seems to be their win con of choice. Tamio, Inquisitive Student. They did not have it. They had 2 Brainstorms, though. Let's rumble. Now I could therapy here. And then we'd get into a guessing game. And I'd force them to brainstorm. And then next turn I would play Vetex, crack it. I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Otherwise, yeah, I think it's going to be worth it. So what are we going to name here, chat? I think it's the Riddler. I think I'm naming Quantum Riddler. But maybe that's obvious. You would hide... What would you hide? You would hide the second brainstorm... You'd have to hide one of the ponders. So you'd hide one of the ponders, then you'd either hide the second brainstorm or the Riddler. I think you would hide... No, maybe you wouldn't hide the Riddler because you want the Riddler in hand for the Vertex trigger, but maybe you want the Brainstorm. I'm gonna name the Brainstorm. I think you hide. I think your instinct is to hide the Ponder and the Riddler. Yeah. Okay. So either Riddler or Brainstorm would have worked. So we know they're drawing. Oh, I didn't work out what they were drawing. They're drawing a Ponder. No, they hid both ponders. They hid both ponders. So we know they have two ponders on top. So they have a ponder in hand. They have a Felia, which is actually a bit of a problem. Yeah, they have Felia Riddler. They have Felia Riddler. Yeah, that could be tricky. I'm not sure I'm beating that, actually. I'm going to do this now. If they want to stifle it... Okay, they don't want to stifle it. Okay, so... You're going to Felia Riddler and draw boatloads of cards. Oh, God. And then the Force of Will's going to get me. Force of Will's going to get me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can bring back... Okay. I'm going to keep these because they're gas. I need to somehow interact through force, which is probably going to involve Quarry on a Deathclaw. Which you can stifle. Ha! The stifle is too good here. The stifle is too good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I can Zenith for Ice Till. Or I could just Origins. Hold the Zenith. I could also Zenith. I could Zenith for Vetex. Get even more mana. Don't think that's correct. I could cycle into a trophy and get that forced, which would set me back on mana. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna Origins. Try and draw out some of this interaction. Double trophy on top. Well, I think I need those, so I'm just going to leave them on top. Because I think I need to trophy this board. Did I not play a land? I didn't play a land. Ah! That's so stupid. That's so stupid. That it makes such a big difference because I really need lots of mana here. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. You can actually failure this thing as well. Yeah. No, I think we met our match here in the blue-white deck. Seems like a naturally poor matchup for us. Maybe I did, for these reasons, maybe I did want Flute over Esper. Flute would have been okay here, not great though. They have Consign for it. Yeah, it seems pretty bad. I'm going to play this Peatland. I'm going to trophy your Felia. And then I'm going to say go. Yeah. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Okay. I should have waited. Yeah. I can't even trophy again. Yeah. No, I needed to keep more aggressive hands, I think, with a more like Grist-centric game plan. The Grist was really good in game 1. Getting Felia Riddlered here was just brutal. I just had a bunch of lands in my hand, didn't have the tools to respond. So probably should have mulled a bit more. Yeah, okay. I know I have a trophy on top. You wastelanded me. Okay, let's just draw this then. Like, maybe there's a D way out of this, but not with everything they've got going on. Like, I'm just dead now. Yeah. No, I think I butchered that match a little bit, especially after winning game 1. Game two was so close. They had the Teferi was like the Teferi was so good. Yeah, we needed to just like get Grist into play as quickly as possible in both of those post-board games because they had a bunch of Planeswalkers and stuff. So Grist is just like the best thing. And I think we were playing around days too much in game 2. In game 3, I think our hand just wasn't quite good enough, so we should have mulled it. But yeah, their deck I think has trouble dealing with Grist, so we should have tried to play toward Grist more. We're learning. Learning. I mean, against Storm, I think this is about as good as it gets. I think I'm good to bottom rumble. So what am I naming here with therapy? Oh, you have Veil. Oh no, you're going to brainstorm. Okay. What do you name with the therapy? They hide their payoff, right? So you probably named Art Ritual or LED. I think I'm good to name Line by Diamond. Or Petal. Maybe Petal is like the thing that you wouldn't hide. Petal's the thing you wouldn't hide. I'm going to name Petal. We did hit a Petal. Yeah, so you hid the LED. Now you get to gamble into Echo. Well, if I had really good therapy skills, I would have named Gamble. And then they would be dead in the water here. As it is, we're just going to get LED echoed. So we should have named Gamble. But it's like, it's equally likely they have Gamble or they have the actual Echo in hand and the LED is the thing that lets them go off, so whatever. Opal. Go. Okay. So I could either rumble to try and hit a few options here. I can rumble to try and hit a therapy. I can just Bowmasters or hold up Bowmasters. I can Ghost Quarter to take them off blue, but not black. Bowmasters only works if they go for another Echo line, even then barely. Rumble's fairly unlikely to hit. They're pretty likely to have another fetch land. I think the best thing is rumbling to hit therapy, and we did. And I think the name is Beseech here. Yeah, we missed. That's fine though. They need to get lucky with Gamble here, I think, to do anything. They discarded the Burning Wish. Yeah, they gambled for LED. They needed to Burning Wish into... they have something. What did you draw? You must have drawn something good then. Must have either drawn the LED or whatever you're about to play. Oh, they have freaking... They drew a second Burning Wish? R.I.P. R.I.P. Second Burning Wish. Okay. We maybe shouldn't have named Beseech there, just because Geiswell's gone, so Beseech is less scary by itself. Like, it's actually pretty difficult for them to win without wheeling, so maybe we should have just played Bowmasters. I hadn't really clocked that the Geiswell is just gone. Okay. Another Burning Wish. Just passes again. Oh, I really hoped we would draw a deed there, just punish the LED play, but sadly. I think I'm trophying this LED, but I don't know if I'm doing it now. What would I wait for? I would wait for the... no, because as soon as you cast... If I do it now, then you also don't have Metalcraft for Opal, which is significant. Yeah, I'm going to do it now. Oh, you have Song. Song is good. Now I wish I'd kept up the trophy. I mean, it's pretty unlikely they just draw the natural Song, right? That's annoying. That's annoying. Alright, let's go to... I'm not going to play this out. Let's go to game 2. I guess I should have... I guess I should have done that differently. I'm actually not sure that Endurance is better than Rumble. In fact, I don't think it is at all, because it specifically only works against the Geiswell lines. Whereas Rumble helps you find Oof and like Ice Still Ghost Quarter. I think the correct name here is Lionside Diamond. Okay. We have a Brainstorm, Burning Wish. So I can Zenith, yeah, so let's Zenith for... Vetex. Therapy you. I'm going to name Burning Wish here. So you have base 6 Beseech, Plateau, Gamble Chromox. Interesting. I kind of want to just trophy your land here. Then if you draw, let's say you draw Dark Ritual. Yeah, I'm just going to trophy your land. If they had more artifact mana in their hand, I'd play the Oath, but like whatever I play is just getting basics. You take them off blue. Okay, they have blue, that's fine. True trap. I mean, I guess Oof is a clock. I'll name the basics, play the Oof, and then I have a 9-turn clock. They're going to gamble. We discarded basics, that's nice for them. I wonder what you gambled for. I guess we'll find out. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. That's 1. That's 2. I could respond to this. I'm not going to because I want to use my trap. That's 3. And that's 4. Oh yeah, they can't be activated anyway, so who cares? Casting guy as well. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm actually not sure about the flutes. Because they have a lot of different angles. I think I would rather have the endurance. I'm going to try that change. Just because the endurance is free. Free is nice. This is an interesting hand. I think ultimately, I really like having Force of Vigor, but I don't think it's good enough to keep this, just because the therapies are so awkward if I don't draw black. Well, this is a worse hand. I'm going to go to 5. This will do. Let's try it. Like, at the very least, I can beat a Guy's Will line with this hand. Okay. Therapy you. What are we naming? I feel like I want to name... Either Dark Ritual or Beseech or Lion's Eye Diamond. Next turn, I'm going to do it again. You know that I would name Lion's Eye Diamond because I named Lion's Eye Diamond turn 1 last game, but you still didn't play it. I'm going to name Lion's Eye Diamond still. Okay, still got it. In your hand, you have a Song of Creation hand. Oh boy. That's going to be tough to beat. I hate Song of Creation because they always draw Song of Creation, even though it's a one-of. Really hard to play around for that reason. We'd be able to beat it if we had Force of Vigor. We just have to hope to fade them getting a mana source this turn, but their entire deck is mana. Wow, okay. We actually faded it. That's crazy. That's crazy. So we kind of just get to shred their hand here, huh? Yeah. I should have got a Bayou, that's fine. Oh yeah, nice. So if they top deck Echo or Gamble, that would be scary, so let's take Lion's Eye Diamond now. And then they can just pass and we'll oof them. They're going to do something. You're going to silence me this turn. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That gives you another turn without oof. think I'm not interested in any of the cards. Well, you are a Guy's Will deck. Yeah, okay, you can have these back then. I'm gonna rumble first. Yeah, I'll grab an Alpha Death Claw. I'll grab an Oof. If I draw a land, I can Death Claw them. Take their blue source so they can't bounce my Oof. One card on top. Okay, on top is scary. Probably just a cantrip. No, it's a Burning Wish. Okay, so you can go and grab basics. And I need to draw a land. Not quite, but that is a second Oof. I wonder how tilting it's going to be to see that I have two Oofs. yeah, I have two Oofs. Okay, last one then, chat. Last one, and hopefully you can get the 4-1. Man, that game 2 against the blue-white deck was so rough. They had turn 1 Tameo into flip turn 2 into double force. Double force to fairy as well. And otherwise I would have been fine. That's rough. Otherwise we could be 4-0 right now, maybe? What could have been? What could have been? Let's see how the last match goes. Sometimes people are like, oh, how does Nic Fit beat combo? And it's like, well, you can just destroy all of their mana sources. It's a pretty good way of beating combo as long as you don't die on turn 1, which is why you have Trap in the sideboard. The answer is Alpha Death Claw. Unironically, yes. What are you going to do if you're a show and tell player? You're going to show and tell, and I'm going to put my Alpha Death Claw in and kill your Omniscience? Sure. Esper Origins has not been quite as good in this league as it was in the previous one, so we might want to think about that. It was pretty disappointing against the Felia deck in particular. Oh, check us out, we're going to die now. It's pretty disappointing against the Felia deck in particular. I want something similar. I want something I can play early. Ideally that I can also play late. Something that gives me a bit of card selection, a bit of value. I don't know what it would be though. You could play Baragwayf. I don't think Baragwayf would be very good in this deck. I haven't tried it, but it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem to... Like, you don't really want Swords to Plowshares to be that good against your deck. Courser of Krufix I have considered, yeah, but it's a little underpowered, huh? It does a lot of the same stuff. It gives you value. It gives you a bit of life gain, but it's just so slow, you know? The information is not nothing either from Courser, especially in Legacy. You're going to go Dark Ritual Bowmasters. Why? What's happening over there? Are you a Shredder aggro deck? I mean, do I even therapy you? What would I name? Opposition Agent? That'd be pretty sick. I could therapy you and name Shredder, but I have an answer to Shredder. And you didn't take it? Maybe you're Doomsday? Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a little bit more information. We'll see. Oh, wow, you're just attacking. Okay. Deal. I'm gonna need Forest Swamp here, I think, so I can trophy this turn. Yes, you're mono black. You know about trophy, though. Okay, so you're Shredder aggro deck. There's the Moon Shadow. And there's the Netherglyph. Man, my kingdom for a pernicious deed, huh? I guess I'm killing the Moon Shadow. This is... yeah, this is bigger, but it's easier to block. We can Zenith for a Grist, which I don't like very much. Here's what I want to do. I'm gonna therapy you. What are you thinking about? If you have a Bowmaster, just play it. Now I want to name Bowmaster. Zenith for Endurance? Zenith for Endurance would have been good, yes. I agree. I didn't think about that. Zenith for Endurance would have been good. What do you have? Do you actually have Bowmaster? That's why you hesitated? Surely you would just play it. I think you would just play it. I'm naming Super Shredder, which is what I was originally going to name. Okay, you have a Baraglyph. That's annoying. And then what we're going to do is we're going to Zenith for... hang on. We're going to Zenith for Dora. We're going to therapy you again. This time we name him Baraglyph. We have another Glyph and a Baraglyph. And then we're just going to Origins. There's the Alpha. There's the Alpha. Do I even want Bowmaster? It's bad, right? It does chump at some point, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave the Alpha on top. So we're gonna take 6 here, we're gonna Alpha a Goyf, and then we're gonna be able to block the other Goyf. Street Wraith. You have a Douthy, it's annoying. Well, that guy's getting alphaed. Guy's getting alphaed for sure. Right. Yeah. Alpha. Rawr. There's always a bigger fish. Hans run, it's the Alpha. Yeah, sure. Draw Bowmaster. No Titania? No, not in this list. I like Titania, but you have to build around her a bit. Yeah. Now you have some tiny Netherglyphs. Um, Origins. Put that in my hand. Rumble. See, this is what we came here to do. Now, this is us firing on all cylinders here. Are you going to push my Esper? Sad. In response? Why in response? Doesn't really make much sense to me. I think I'm good to just grab an Explorer to chump here, to be honest. If we need to. Popping off. I could race here, you know. I could attack, and then next turn I'm threatening lethal. How does that go wrong? I don't think that goes wrong at all. Like, what answers do they have to this thing? Maybe a Sheoldred's Edict? Pre-board? Unlikely. They can't snuff it out. They can't push it. I'm just gonna chump. I mean, now you could Edict me. I still have a Zenith? Yeah, whatever. Go ahead. Yeah, so you're just dead. Straight up dead. Monstrosity 4, baby. Don't even need to kill that thing because I've got Menace. Okay, mono black. I think I do like Endurance here. They're gonna be Douthying me. I think this is a matchup where we actually don't need Ice Till. I mean, it's 2-4, but no, I don't think we need Ice Till. I like Deed, I like Trophy. I think Esper Origins is... It's quite good for the life gain. Here's what I think. I think we're taking out 1 Ice Till and 2 Therapies. Vetex, I think, is just fine to chump. We can use the mana better than they can. Therapy just doesn't seem like they'd be holding all that much. Let's try that. So like therapy's unlikely to be useful after like the very first few turns of the game, and I don't think we need to therapy them in the first few turns of the game because we have like stuff to do. Double Deathclaw, can't lose. I think if we draw a land, this hand's decent. If they only play Menace creatures, the Explorer is a little bit tricky to trigger. I think this hand's really good if I draw a land, so I'm going to keep it. It's also fairly resilient to like a Thoughtseize effect. They can take the Explorer, but I still have the Bone Masters and the Deed. That's not a very fast turn 1 from them. Makes me wonder what they have, actually. Land? Sick. Never didn't have it. This goes wrong if they go, like, Douthie Snuff Out. It should be annoying. That's fine. Take the Esper Origins. Yeah, I thought you might do that. Do I want to give them this mana now? Yeah, I think I do. Because I think I want to get my Esper going. Yes. It means they can Bone Master me. Seems fine. Esper. Ooh, I get to surveil an Esper Origins away. If I trophy... Yeah, I think I can keep that. Oh, they just straight up didn't search because they wanted to draw whatever they had on top. That's wild. Didn't search into Dark Ritual? Tight. Okay, you do have Douthie. Douthie's good. I think I can afford to leave that in play for one turn. I just want to be mana efficient here and flashback one of these. Do I want this Zenith? I would Zenith for Grist, I guess. At some point, maybe. How much mana do I have next turn? I have 7 mana. So that's like Deathclaw. I think this is one of the better cards I could draw, so I'm gonna top both here. Reveal the Swamp, put it in my hand. Say go. Another Wasteland. That's pretty good. If you don't kill the Esper, I'm still gonna Deathclaw you next turn though. That's why this card's so good. The mana is so good. Yeah. So now I'll just Deathclaw. Kill this. Yeah, I'll swing with the Esper. Popping off. Where's the emote? There we go. It's the custom pop-off emote. Also, I'm going to just swing for lethal next turn because of the Esper Madwin ability. Like, they gain trample as well. I have lethal in play. Can I Zenith for guaranteed lethal? I can't, right? No. So basically, they have to block with both, or the trophy kills them. I'm telling you, man, Esper Origins is a good card in Nic Fit. Like, people doubted. There were doubters. Okay, so you can't actually do that because it has Menace. But if you put both on here, it's not worth trophying you. Oh, my deck command isn't working. It's annoying. It's called Esper Origins. Yeah, I mean, cast another one, why not, right? Reveal a Bowmaster. You're a 2. I mean, this was a slaughter, this game. They didn't really do anything except play a Douthie, so, like, fair enough. They just, like, their deck crapped out. But it was still a slaughter. Alright, that is a 4-1. That is a 4-1. The second 4-1 in a row. Shame we couldn't get the trophy today. That would have been fun to do on stream. And we were pretty close. Like, the second game against Blue-White, they genuinely had a very strong draw. Because they had the early Tamio flip and all the protection. And it's not like we played against one segment of the format. You know, we played against a couple of Storm decks, and we've got a very good sideboard for Storm, to be fair. But we played against the Black Aggro deck, and we played against Blue-Black Doomsday. It wasn't Tempo, it was Doomsday. I would like to see more about how well the deck plays into white decks in particular. I think D&T is probably like unwinnable. I'm not too worried about that. But like any blue-whitish, beans-ish types decks, I would like to know more about those matchups and how well it cues into that. And I would like to know more about the blue tempo matchup, the blue-black tempo matchup. Because those are really key. If you're going to play a pile like this and you don't have a good tempo matchup, then what are you doing? But I can't see them being too awful. So yeah, it's kind of exciting to have a Nic Fit deck that maybe is good. Maybe? I don't know. I gotta go. I got some stuff to do today. Gotta have some lunch, etc. But enjoy the weekend, and I am looking to play the Eco Baronin ELMQ online next week, and I may stream that. I haven't decided yet. I'm more interested in doing well in that tournament, and ideally winning that tournament, than I would be for a normal challenge, so it's a little bit more of a decision about whether to stream it or not. But I probably will, because why not? It's fun. So maybe I'll see you next week, maybe 2 weeks. See you later.